Morning. Today is 13th of August, and I wanted to say that sometimes in life you may be going through a lot of challenges, or you're lost, you're at crossroads, you don't know where to go. Do you go left? Do you go right? Do you go forwards? Do you go backwards? And what I want to talk about here is it's okay to feel lost. It's okay to, just feel like you don't know what to do anymore in life. That's okay. Because that's all part of life. You see, I remember many times in my life where I just hit a brick wall. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I was valued. I don't know if I was helpful. And it's just part of life. You see, we all go through struggles in life. We all go through challenges in life. And having that changed mindset by understanding that what you're going through in life is all part of life. It's so easy to be negative. It's so easy to say, complain about this and complain about that in life. But yet, it's so hard to do the opposite, the exact opposite of what I just said. Why? Because that is the right way in life. Arguing, shouting, screaming, always being angry, that ain't living. Honestly, that's not living, because it's like a sickness that you can pick up. And why do we become like that in life? Well, it's simple. So I was sitting there self-reflecting, looking at, fatherhood, for example, and challenges that we go through as a father. Same applies with mothers, by the way, because we both have challenges. Each partner has a challenge. The mother has a challenge, the father has a challenge. Now, the mother has more challenges than the father when it comes to raising kids and so forth. And a mother's role is so harder than a father's role. But again, different challenges, different situations. What I'm trying to say here is that no matter what you're going through, always remember that life is not guaranteed and life is short. I was talking about this on a video that I recently dropped, right? Everything's a blessing in life, and it truly is, because you just never know when your time is up. You just never know when you're gonna get the opportunity or not get the opportunity. It's sad that you can make all these plans, you can do all these things, and then you just may never wake up tomorrow. You may go to sleep and just not wake up. And that happens a lot to everybody. Somebody that's happened to, or you've heard the story of somebody else's. Just recently, you get notified, so-and-so passed away. And they went to sleep and never woke up. And yet that person had plans, that person had dreams, ambitions, and so forth. So that's my message to you. Take it easy in life and focus on growth, focus on developing yourself, focus on truly helping others around you. So when you do leave, at least people remember you in a good way. People remember you in the things you did that impacted them, that helped, and resonated with them in life, and truly made an impact in their life. And that's what it's all about. That's what life's all about. We all have different opinions and so forth. We all have different cultures, different backgrounds, but there's one thing we all have, which is the same, and you can't change it. The heart is the same. You love the same, you feel the same. Now, you don't have to speak a different language in order to express that. You can express that by body language. Remember, life is too short. Just go back to this cycle of life. he was born. I mean, perfect example is fatherhood, right? So when I look at my children, it reminds me of a lot of things in life. It reminds me of my role, my responsibility, my accountability in life, and it ain't easy. I didn't know what's it going to be like being a father. Yet when I was a kid growing up, I didn't think that my father knew what it's like to be a kid. The cycle of life, cycle of life has changed. Remember, in life, this is what I have experienced. This is my point of view. I'm not here trying to tell you which is right, which is wrong, what's right, what's wrong. I'm just telling you my experience in my life. Honestly, I always looked at life differently. I knew when I was going through teenage years into adulthood and so forth, and as I started looking at life, I knew that the cycle of life, that means I gotta look after my parents the way they looked after me growing up when I was a kid. See, that's how I understood life, that it's a continuously, circle of keep making changes you need, keep developing, keep making good in life. When our parents go old, you can't neglect them, you can't push them away, say, it's not my business. It is your business, unfortunately, because when you was a child growing up, it was their business to make sure you had everything you needed to grow up. So the least you can do is pay it forward and pay it back. And that's why as we get older, we become younger again, like children again. We start forgetting, how many people do you know that as they grow older, they start getting and, that's just the way life is. And you got to be there for everybody. You got to help everybody you can in life. And it ain't easy, because you need patience. You need understanding. You got to understand that it's part of life. You can't give up on everything that comes your way. Challenges will come your way. And when these challenges come your way, they don't come to break you. Honestly, let me just say something. Everything you go through, in the beginning of life, I never understood it, and I thought, why and so forth. And then I understood that everything I'm going through is a lesson in life. Everything I'm experiencing has a reason for a chapter later in my life. That's what I understood. That's what it's all about. Remember that every dark day is a brighter day. Every dark night is a daylight. Now, a storm will come, it'll pass. That's just life. You gotta understand that. Sometimes you're gonna get hard things dealt to you. Sometimes you're gonna go through things that are so painful. But these are experiences that life is helping you elevate, shifting you from one level to another level, but you have to go through a process. You have to go through pain, suffering, crisis, trauma, losing people, loved ones. And these are all traumas in your life, going through experiences that just can really hurt you. That's all part of life. That's what I understood it. And that's what I've experienced in my life. I changed the point of view. I changed the lens I was looking through. When you was a kid, you thought the world was the best place. You grew up a bit. You went through experiences. You met wrong people. You had bad experiences. You got hurt. All these things are part of life. Yet, if you sit down, breathe, take a moment and self-reflect on every incident you went through, every trauma that you went through in life, and ask yourself, why? And then start understanding that there was a lesson behind it. Did you pick up the lesson? Did you understand the lesson you went through that part of your life? You'd be surprised that some answers might come straight to you straight away, and some may never come to you. May never come to you and will come to you later on down the line. I've had a lot of things that later on down the line it started making sense, but it took me years to understand why. then it was like, oh my God. Now I understood why that happened. Now I understood why this is happening. And it all makes sense. Anyway, I don't want to bore you, and I hope that I gave you some value and this message resonates with you. And this is what it's all about. You see, we've got to sit there and make sure we can help. If you see somebody struggling, please help. If you see somebody that needs a little bit emotional support, give that support, because this is what we need to do in life. We need to help each other, build a beautiful community around you. Community can mean many things to you, to me. Everyone sees it differently. But I know if I can make somebody smile, that's one person, you can multiply that by 100. It's just a nice gesture, a nice comment, a nice something in life. Make somebody's day, you know. I challenge you to go out there and, let's say, for example, in YouTube, look at people who are sharing content that they feel sad, upset, angry, and just give them a nice comment. Try to uplift them. Try to do something different. You'll be surprised. Now, sometimes the reactions you're not going to get what you expect. Some may be reactive, but that's part of life. They understand they're going through something. They're going through a challenge, and that's how they feel. And that's what I felt like sometimes when I was going through challenges in life. I just felt everything's gonna cave in. Like, I can't do it anymore. And today, perspective changes. As you grow older, perspective changes. You know, I've said it before, and I say it again. When you're younger, you're looking for ways to get older. When you're older, you're looking for ways to get younger. That's just life. But remember, look after the elder. Look after your parents. Look after people that need you. Look after them. Life is short. Life is so short, honestly. You can do all the plans, you can say all the things you want. You just never know when it's time for you to leave. You know, I look at one thing, I look at many things in life. When I think about it realistically, I own nothing. In life, I own zero. Zero. Clothes, cars, whatever it is I have in life, these are all temporary things in life. Because when I leave, somebody else is going to take them, use them, buy them. You know, that's just life. So don't sit there thinking that all these things, material stuff, they mean nothing, honestly. What you need to focus on, and what you need to make sure that this is what you're giving back, and the value that you're adding in life is leaving a legacy behind, leaving something about you that makes people smile, makes anyone smile. This is the question I want to ask. I want you to ask yourself. If you were to ask people around you to give you an expression about you, what would it be? Think about it. Would they smile? They cringe? They get upset? They get angry? Just think of it. This is what you need to do in life. Leave an impact that always hits home, always touches a heart, that, you know, they make you smile, they make you laugh. Please, life is too short. Don't waste it. Don't worry about the challenges that come your way. Don't worry about the crisis you're going through at the moment if you're going through a crisis. Don't worry about the trauma you're going through. Don't worry about the most difficult part in your life, thinking, you know, you can't. That's okay. We've all been there. We've been there many times. It's just part of life, honestly. You know, I can sit there and go on for hours about this topic, but I don't want to waste your time, because the last thing I want to do is be wasting your time. So I thank you for watching. And if you like this video, a like will help me go a long way. It'll help others find me too, that may just need to hear this message too, like you did, if it resonated with you. Right, I'll catch you next one maybe. Who knows? I'll definitely see you later, I guess. Again, who knows? Right, have a good one. Beautiful morning to wherever you are. A beautiful evening to wherever you are in the world.